Monday's edition of Wednesday's edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And today we've got a very fascinating subject on how to awaken your soul from matter. Awakening your soul from matter. And I got the Divine Collective with me today, and I love these beings because they're very, very grounded and very aware of what's going on this planet today and how to resolve a lot of the issues that humanity is facing as a collective whole and as individuals. This, I think, is a very interesting follow-up to what was discussed on Friday about empaths, Monday about empaths, and how empaths can overcome their subjectivity to the emotions of other people. And this morning when I was meditating, they came in and said, it's really important you understand that humans have decentralized their awareness too far into matter. What do you mean decentralized our awareness too far into matter? They said, you've become too attached to things, the body, and the mind as being more than what you actually are. You've given them more of your life than you have given to yourself. The stuff of this world that you so delightfully play in with your senses, that delights your ears and your eyes and your nose and your touch, those things of this world that have enslaved you to it rather than being the caretaker of it, you have become enslaved to it. And our goal here today is to get you to simply to understand that matter is a manifestation of your consciousness. It is not the source of your identity, which is what many of you falsely believe, that you are this stuff all around you that you hear and see, and these thoughts in your mind, and you think that they are you and you are them, and that is not true. They are effects of you, but you have been seduced by your senses. It is a beautiful instrument, is it not? It can feel good and it can feel bad, but it is there to receive instruction and direction from you. And you find yourself lost in it. Many of you feeling lonely and isolated because you are lost in matter. We can assure you, you are not alone in the spirit of what you are. We are all around you, many of us, but you cannot see us, you cannot hear us, most of you, because you are so believing that your ears hear only what is heard through your ears. You can only see what you see through your eyes. You can smell only what you smell through your nose. And this small world that you are attached to, wrongfully believing that it is the source of your identity, keeps you trapped into it. Our goal here is simple today, to remind you that this world is not you. It is a manifestation, an extension of deliberate creating that you participate in consciously or not, in every instant of your being conscious, whether you are consciously attached to your body or consciously attached to the things of this world and think that they give you your value. Do you really think that this glass gives you your life? Do you really think that that food is the thing that gives you your life? No, it gives your body life. It gives your body a sensation of being able to exist in time and space, but it is not your life. You are its life. You give it life the way you express through it and the quality you express with it through. But you have gotten circumvented. You've become circumvented from your life, caught in the ideologies of matter, believing that up is up and down is down, that this smell means that and this thing means that. You're caught in this world as if it is greater than what you are. And so you think that by having more money, and you think that by having more people in your world, and you think by having more stuff that you can feel a certain way in your body with, that you have more life. But we would counter that and say, look at your world and what you have done to it. Look at your world and look at what you've done to it. You do not have more life. You are taking life away. and you are lowering the standard of your very life and what it is capable of expressing at in this world, what you can truly experience as life in this world, you have not even begun to really fathom as a species. This whole process of ascension that's undergoing right now, where many of you are saying, we're done with this. We are done with believing that suffering is our way. We're done with believing that our love and our joy must come only from this world. There is a life that is within us that we can discover, that beats our heart, that gives us life. And from that perspective, you can offer life to this world. But right now, many of you take from this world and you take from this world, and you find yourselves wanting more and never being fulfilled. And so learning to remember that you are not a decentralized consciousness lost in the confines of matter, time, and space. You are an infinite, limitless expression of consciousness that moves through many dimensions. You encounter many different manifestations of matter, time, and space. You encounter many manifestations of what you define as nonlinear time. There are dimensions of expression that we could not even articulate for you because the laws that you understand are not the laws that exist in other dimensional realms, but they do exist nonetheless. And so how do you return home? How do you return to the awareness that you are, that is limitless in potential, not needing as much from this world as your body and mind would tell you you require, because your body will endlessly desire pleasure, and your mind will endlessly desire candy for it. And so you must understand that what you are is very separate and distinct. And when you understand who and what you are, you will have more to offer this world than you will have to take from it. For the majority of you, that is not the case. For the majority of you, you find yourselves seeking and seeking and seeking to find that thing in this world that will fulfill you, and that thing that fulfills you is the very life that is within you at this moment. It is within you at this moment. It is as you. But you look futilely in this world, hoping that you will find that thing in this world that will fulfill you and satisfy you greater than anything. But it is within you. You can close your eyes and close your ears and listen within. Go within. All else is within you. To come to that place of recognition of what you are places you in a position creatively where you can offer more than what you will take. And we do not speak of money and stuff. We speak of values, we speak of character, we speak of knowledge, we speak of understanding, we speak of expressions of consciousness that articulate manifestations in the condition of time, space, and matter very differently than what the identification of self with matter can possibly allow you to. When you believe you are that body, the finite mechanism it is restricts you from believing you can do more than what you can do. This physical world is very, very limited by your identification with it, but liberated if you are liberated from it. If you realize that you are the consciousness that causes effects and become mindful of the effects that you're causing, not simply trying to change the conditions of your physical self-preservation. If I stop doing this, my body will feel better. If I stop doing that, my body will feel better. You are still dealing with this material world as a means of your source of well-being. And yet you, within your being, are the source of the well-being of this world. You came here to evolve an expression of yourself, not to acquire a finite identity that restricts you from the freedom of becoming fully who you are. And so today we say to you simply, remember that body that you are in is not who you are, but you have a responsibility over how you care for it, what you give to it. from an instinctual perspective, your body is only capable of thinking and saying and doing certain things within a range of its spectrum of consciousness, whereas you transcend that. You can alter the preconditioned states of the body, that it needs this to feel good or it needs that to feel bad. And you can know, you can learn, you can discover what is actually right for this body to make it operate at its maximally perfect state of expression and being. You can gain that information and give life to this body in a way it has never been given for many thousands and thousands of years, since humans have learned to truly honor and respect what they came here to offer the world, as opposed to what they came here to get from it. Escaping this planet, leaving this planet, will not stop your nature from being what it is if you believe that the body and the mind are the sole source of your identity. You are a soul. We say to this one, spirit of universal light and love. That is what you are. And you are here to express that through this form, not to be experiencing gratification through the form, but to express your universal love and light through this form, to love and to articulate and care for all of these things that were manifested here for you, a school to play in, but you will not find liberation nor satisfaction for any great period of time in the exclusivity of thinking that that body is the being that you are. It is simply a mechanism for your expression of who and what you truly are. To bring that realization to you in language, how do you get to that? How do you get to know, to not theorize or ponder or have sweet thoughts that I may be more than I think I am, but to truly know that this body is something that I move through, something I put life, light, and energy through. How do you come to that knowing that I am not these thoughts in my mind that I receive from this world? I am not these thoughts in my mind that I make up. I am something different. And what is it, this I am that observes my thoughts, is aware that I have this mechanism to use? That you, to be born anew into that, gives you a greater level of freedom than you will ever discover or find in this world. And there is no man or no thing in this world that can liberate you as you can liberate yourself. The momentary times of pleasure, the momentary times of comfort in that body, pale in comparison to the infinite bliss that awaits you in being and knowing what you are and what you can be. Your liberation comes when you know I am, when you know who I am, when you know that, not who I am here, but who I am there. When you know that, who am I? Because you are not who you were told to think you are supposed to be. You are not that identity card that you hold in your wallets or your purses. You are not the money that you possess. You are not the food you eat. These are only mechanisms that sustain a localized identity for that form that you function through, but it is not who you are. And who you are is of such incredible radiance and wisdom and compassion that there are no obstacles to it. There are no obstacles to who you truly are. But there are obstacles when you believe that you are decentralized into this body, into this world of matter, as the only place from which you can garner knowledge or information or experience. And so we must approach you from this perspective of the five senses, where we provide information, signals. For some of you, you can feel our presence when we're around you. Some of you can get flashes of light or number sequences. Some of you can even see us. those orbs you see floating around, or those flashes that go by you. Some of you can see us, but we are not of this world as you are, but we are very aware of it and aware of your position in consciousness relative to where we are in consciousness. And is only different in degree, not so much different in nature, but the degree in which you believe you're that body, to that degree you are separate from knowing who you are. To the degree that you believe that those thoughts in your mind are who you are, to that degree you're separate from who you are. To the degree you believe that this world is giving you the fulfillment and happiness that you think you are missing, to that degree you are separate from who you are. For who you are is literally universal light, and love requires no fulfillment from this world, but offers it to it. You are the treasure that came to offer itself to this world. You are the treasure that came to offer itself to this world, to give a treasure to this world, to let these creatures here, these wonderful beings around you, all forms, to offer them your light, to offer them your love, to offer them your compassion, to nurture them as they go on their journey from the simplest place of consciousness. Did you know you started your journey? You started your journey as just a little particle of energy, slowly reducing down in frequency, and then something happened. A thing called a mineral formed. Something solid began to form as more and more of you came down, lowering down in frequency. And then you created this world called the mineral world, where that which was invisible now became visible. And then this mineral began to interact, your consciousness experiencing being this stuff that you did not understand, but you were just being. There was no judgment, there was no analysis, you were just being. And it evolved, and as minerals and the different potentials interact with each other, these other life forms called cells, single cells, began to evolve and emerge from within the consciousness of that which was before, which was the mineral. And then these cells began to interact with each other, and the consciousness which was in the cells began to formulate other expressions of itself. And you call that the vegetable kingdom. This kingdom here, this beautiful kingdom. And then after many, many millions of years of experience as that, another evolution occurred where other life forms began to emerge from the cells. Other life forms began to form, and they became what you call the animal kingdom. The monocellular creatures all the way up to the multicellular organisms, the great old ancient beasts that you find the skeletal remains of. And from many millions of years of experiencing that realm, another consciousness evolved from all of that experience that became what you call the human forms, the primate forms, the mammal forms, the other forms of animals on the planet. And for many millions of years of experiencing that came the current human expression that you understand today. And now you have evolved from this great limitless consciousness through all matter to this point, where you find yourself in this body many thousands of years later, for some of you many millions of years, where you've experienced this physical form and how it lives and how it thrives and how it survives within the confines of this world without conflict. And then something occurred. You made another choice, that there had to be something more, and you evolved beyond just being a mere animal to being an awareness that had the ability to interact with and direct the actions of the animal directly. You now directly control the animal, and you directly control all of the forms beneath it. You control these life forms, do you not? You build them, you plant them, you destroy them, you harvest them. You've now assumed dominion over plant and mineral and animal, and now you seek to assert your dominion over this world. And in that process, you are learning, whether you like it or not, whether you are conscious of it or not, you are learning that you have a responsibility, albeit a little slower than what we would have expected, but you are learning it nonetheless. And now you have reached this place, this huge global movement called ascension, which is simply the realization of who you are as a being of consciousness, a soul, an awareness. You are coming home. And in that process, you assume a different level of responsibility over matter, time, and space than you have up to this point in the existing physical paradigm that you humans have created. The existing paradigm that you humans have created of controlling and manipulating, organizing matter is about to be replaced by the direct controlling and organization and manipulation of energy and consciousness from a very different perspective of awareness than the localized perspective of body and mind. So that your body and mind are no longer the reference point for what you will decide and how you will decide to create or utilize your experience of being as a creative manifestation. It gets easier as you move through this stage, as you begin to realize that, matter is something that we direct, and we can choose the nature and quality of which we utilize matter to direct it. We can direct it aggressively, we can direct it lovingly, we can utilize it and harness it in the most profoundly beautiful ways, and we can also harness it in the most detrimental ways. One requires that you believe that matter is the source of your fulfillment. The other requires that you recognize that matter is a manifestation that you utilize creatively to reorganize, to alter and change in a very pleasing way. You do not need to harm life to have it more abundantly. You do not need to harm life to have it more abundantly. There is a process. And so, awakening your soul from matter, this ascension movement that you see today is exactly that. You are awakening your soul from believing that that body and mind is the locus of your identity, that this world is the source of who you are. It is not. You are the source of who you are. And there is another source beyond that, but this is not what we will discuss today. Awakening your soul from matter. At the simplest levels, you realize you can open and close your hand. That's a matter being obviously directed by you. And there are some of you that say, well, why can't I not make those things move without touching them? Because you're not formed a relationship that would warrant that. You recognize yourself still as separate from everything else. You have not realized the fact that you are part of everything. And so in your separateness, you have little or no control over many things, including your weather patterns, these electrical changes that are happening in your galaxies and solar systems. You think you are separate from them. They are something that are going to happen to you, when in reality, you are something that can happen to it. You are something that can happen to your world or not. But as long as you believe that you are subjective or separate in that body, that this world is the source of your joy, the source of your happiness, or the lack thereof, then you will be wholly dependent on the causes and effects limited exclusively to this physical dimension. The same is true for your mind, that you may find yourself limited in mind to what your mind believes to be true or not true. But you, as this sentient awareness, innately knows there is something more than what you are observing with your five physical senses or thinking in that limited mind that you've acquired through this world of the senses. And your ascension is simply the awareness that you have dominion over mind, dominion over matter, and you are not separate from it either. But you are not exclusively lost in it. You are the director of it. You get to interact with it in very precise and specific ways. Consciously, hopefully. Our goal was simple today, to remind you, you must awaken your soul from matter. And in the context which we speak, matter also includes the types of thoughts that you have in your mind, or the thoughts, the process of the non-physical realm, the astral realm of thought, which is causative to matter, as you in consciousness are causative to thought. But again, many of you are lost in thoughts, believing that your fulfillment, your sense of well-being, your sense of identity is based in the thoughts that you think, as equally as it is based in the thoughts of the experience of being in the body. You understand this? That you believe that these thoughts are who you are, and so again, you are now subjective to the realm of the astral, where you have no control or choice over the thoughts and emotions that go on in that body. And yet, nothing could be further from the truth, for you do have great control, once you understand it, over your thought. You may say, I will not think this thought. Well, that thought will create this emotion, and that emotion will create this sensation, and that sensation will create that behavior. Once you realize that you do have direct control over matter, then it is you must also learn to have direct control over mind, because it is your mind that keeps you separate from having the level of control and relationship that you are meant to have with matter, time, and space from a very different perspective of being. But in the limits of your mind and believing that those limits are true, you find yourself again lost and disconnected from who you are. And ascension restores you to the revelation that you are awareness that can alter and change mind, and you are awareness that can alter and change matter. And in coming to the understanding of that, this is ascension, awakening to that. On this level of awareness, you have the limitless knowledge available to us. You may connect to any being on any dimension from any time. Right now, your level of connection to beings is limited to this physical dimension. You can communicate to the animals to some limited degree still. At least you've learned to communicate to a limited degree. You can communicate with plants to a limited degree. But again, this is just limiting yourself to the form. But when you understand who you are, those limits will change. The way in which nature will respond to you in your true nature will be very different than the way nature responds to you not in your true nature. Nature is not here to harm you. It was here to aid you. And yet many of you believe that it is here to harm you. Such a terrible perception that causes much suffering for humans and other species alike. So ascension, realizing that you are not those thoughts. Then what thoughts would you choose to have? And most of you will look to this world to find the thoughts that you think you should have from this world, but the thoughts of this world are the thoughts of this world and are what the world is now. And so what thoughts would you choose? We hope that you will give consideration to this, that when you know that the thoughts that are in your mind right now are not even yours, mostly, but that you have choice to generate, to manifest, to articulate new thoughts, a new astral realm, which is causative to this physical world. When you begin to alter the thought structures in your mind, you begin to alter the causes you initiate into the experience of being in a condition of matter. The moment you're able to alter, your thoughts, you begin to alter your relationship to matter. And then the other element is emotions. Well, what are emotions? It will be very simple what emotions are. They're merely the electromagnetic response of certain qualities of thought energy in relation to matter. A certain thought generates a certain electrical potential, and that electrical potential interacts with matter. So if you have a thought about how beautiful you are, that generates a certain particular electrical potential in your body, feels a certain way. When you generate a thought that says, I'm ugly and I'm not very beautiful, and I don't like my body, and I don't like that fat, I don't like this, you generate an electrical potential that affects matter. And very few of you understand that emotion is the result of an electrical movement of energy through the astral realm of thought into the material world of manifestation. All your science has revealed that electrical impulses go from that thing called your physical brain and cause things to happen in the body, cause certain organs to function. It is the electrical flow of energy from the invisible to the visible that causes these effects. As you become more aware of this, you can step back and consider then, what electrical emotion do I want to give to this body? Do I want to give the electrical energy of sadness and unhappiness, unfulfillment? Or do I want to ennoble and embody joy and love into this realm? From the perspective of awareness, you have this choice. From the perspective of your mind, as it has been constructed by this world, you do not. Nor from the perspective of believing that the senses of the body define you, you do not. Only from the perspective of awareness do you have the positioning in consciousness to begin to articulate changes in mind, energy, and body, or if you like, mind, emotion, and body. The mind sets the charge, and the charge becomes embodied as a sensation or an emotion. And you can alter this at will when you're ready. And many of you are waking up now. Many of you are reaching out to different teachers and mentors that will offer you avenues of consideration that you have not been offered from this world. Avenues like, where does my life come from? What causes the heart in this body to beat? What causes awareness that I have to be? It is not this world that causes your awareness, for you're aware of this world, are you not? Are you not aware of this world? What causes your awareness that you could be aware of this world? Your awareness is somewhere within the machine, you think. But where is it? You cannot see it, you cannot hear it, you cannot smell it, but you know it is there because you know you are. And so as you begin to pursue different avenues of knowledge and information, you can begin to articulate a different causative effect to this material realm in your experience of being, in your experience of being. So you will run into mentors, many of you now, and teachers and educators that are educating from the perspective of who they are, not from the perspective of what they've been taught to educate by this world, but those that will make you step outside of what you are familiar with. You are not your thoughts. What an interesting idea. You are not your thoughts. Is that not an interesting idea? You are not your emotions. Isn't that an interesting idea? But you are aware of your thoughts, and you are aware of your emotions, and you are aware of your body. Then who are you that is aware of this? Consider that. We dare you to consider that. For when you start to look in that direction, now you will begin to find yourself. When you look to, who am I that is aware of these thoughts? And who am I that is aware of these emotions? And who am I that is aware of this body? And who am I that is aware of this world? Who am I? Now you begin your journey. Now you start to climb the ladder, the stairway to heaven, so to speak. Our goal was simple, to make you look somewhere else other than where you've been looking, to discover where you find your fulfillment and your peace and your joy. We've simply been seeking to have you go within. You are awareness. You are soul, spirit of universal light. It is what you are. It is not what you have to become. It is what you are. And when you begin to look, seek it, you will not find it in this world, but you will find it within who you already know yourself to be. As awareness, you can function independent of memory. You can function independent even of body, as do we. You can function independent of matter and even independent of thought as you understand it to be while in that body. Most of what you call thought is connected to the memory systems from the senses that you've acquired through experiences. Most of what you call your thinking is not even thinking at all. It is simply remembering and repeating information that has been put into or impressed into the system through the 5 physical senses. And when you can distance yourself from that, you'll come closer to yourself. You have to get farther away from who you are to get closer to who you are, you might say. You have to go further from who you think you are to know who you really are. And that begins from a perspective of becoming awareness, aware of emotion, aware of body, becoming aware and realizing that's not who I am. These are things I'm aware of. From the perspective of awareness, you can then acquire knowledge and information on what do I choose to think? What do I choose to put my attention on? And we can assure you, when you start to consider that simple question, who am I as this awareness, you will find your attention being pulled away from this world, from your distractions, from your fears, from your emotional roller coasters. You'll begin to find yourself looking elsewhere. And when you're not looking at your suffering, you will not be in your suffering. When you're looking to find out, who am I? Why? Where is my awareness? Where am I from? How am I here? When you begin to question that, you begin to liberate yourself from this. And in a position of liberation, can you offer the world all you have to offer it? You can only offer the world what the world has given you to offer it. And most of you have been trained by this world to believe certain things that are true or not true. As a result, you have a limited range of what you've been able to give to the world, and a limited range of what you can receive from the world, and a limited range in what you can understand about who you are. You are not the confines of that body or that mind. You are so much more than this. And we, as the Divine Council of Light, have simply come here to remind you, as many others are right now, have come here to remind you that you did not come here to be decentralized into the finite expression of matter alone. You came here to liberate your creative expression into matter, time, and space, to show how you could give greater life to this world, not how to take it from it. When you understand who you are, then you will give more life, and you will give it more abundantly. You will not take. You will not harm. You will not hinder. You will do everything in your power to enable each and every being that you come into contact with to fully be what they are, to be a space for them as they would naturally be a space for you if they knew who they were, to allow the fullness of your expression without judgment, knowing that it comes from the same source. You are on that path now. It is inevitable that you will find your freedom one way or another. It is inevitable. That body that you're in is but a temporary house. It will pass and go away. Yes, it will. Well, now on that note, let me interject here. Something that was suggested to me by Norma, my partner, my beautiful wife. Norma suggested something that we should do, and that came from her guidance, and I honor the guidance that comes from her as equally as I honor coming to me from these other beings. And it is this, that I would like to offer a chance for my subscribers on my YouTube channel. The opportunity to win a free reading with me is something I do also with my patrons. But I thought I would offer it to the subscribers here that are not members of my Patreon page. So under this video today, which is Awakening Your Soul from Matter, will be changed to Awakening Your Soul from Matter with the Divine Council of Light. It's important you understand just to write your name. If you're a subscriber, write your name in the comment section that you're interested in winning the free reading, and I will, from this video only, choose a name that's been written down as wanting to win a free reading with me, and I will pick one of you, and well, you'll have a free reading with me and whoever you bring through with us. Very exciting. Oh, hi, Bogey Mother. Thank you for that super chat. Bogey Mother is asking, wow. Oh, wow. It's funny. The first thing he's showing me is you know those little things that you blow? Woo! Those New Year things? Celebrate. Celebrate. And I'm hearing that song too. Celebrate. Celebrate. Dance to the music. Celebrate. Celebrate, 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 Bogumila. He's saying also take some time to give yourself a little bit of rest. Take some time to give yourself a little rest, but celebrate this day. Celebrate. I am not far from you, dear one. I'm not far from you. I'm not far from you. Yeah, thank you for that question. Guys, this has been an amazing day. I've really enjoyed it. I want to thank all of you. Please remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and leave your comments in the comment section. Again, if you want to win a free reading with me from this particular video, please write your name in the comment section saying I want a free reading with William, and I will choose one of those names today. And you'll hear from me in the next 24 hours or so. I will wait for this to get posted up so the people watching this that also want to participate that aren't here today, the subscribers that aren't here, will have the opportunity to write their name. And also I'll go over the list of names in about 12 hours time, and then tomorrow I will send them an email and I'll announce their name on Friday's edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. Wow, I want to thank the Divine Council for being here today so much, their wisdom and knowledge. But it's true. Awaken your soul from matter. That's what ascension is realizing that we are not these bodies, we are not these minds, we are souls, spiritual beings, right? Here to manifest our manifestation of consciousness as divine expressions. So I want to say much love to all of you. Have yourselves a wonderful, a joyful day. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to share this video. If you're just a member, remember to subscribe and like this video. Bye for now.